Why, hi there, I'm Ron Juckett, and he's Dave Gardner. And it's a day after a championship. This week on the 8th, for my God, the first day of May 2019. And what's the weather this first day of May? Alexa, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 43 degrees. Tonight, expect a low of 42 degrees.
This is great weather for November, isn't it, Dave?
Isn't this November weather? It really is.
There's a flood warning in effect until Thursday, May 2nd.
Oh, man. Yeah, we're supposed to get...
The current weather is
Alexa, stop talking.
Man, if you could only do that with a wife, right?
Yes.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, Justin Perry, who plays on Saturday as a resident weatherman, he just posted we're supposed to get some nasty thunderstorms tonight. So anybody that's in the league or whatever, yeah, beware. We're getting some thunderstorms tonight. So
isn't that exciting? Yeah, the whole week is we're supposed to get a half inch of rain here in northern Vermont, and the entire rest of the week, 55 during the day and 35 to 40 at night. It's May.
Brutal. Early, low 40s as well. It's not like it's 48, 49. It's getting to be 42, 43 at night. That is really, really yucky weather.
So why isn't this showing up for... I'm trying to.
So let me see if I can get to our...
Yeah, what are the sponsors?
Oh, yeah, let's go over our sponsors real quick here before we get going. We're a little bit late today, but let's go over our sponsors, shall we? All right, first off, the champions, the first ever champion in the MRHL with our new jerseys. It was the Everett Bank team that was stopping my mom will shoot. Ended up winning it all last night. We'll talk about that in a minute. But they are the champions. So the championship photo was Everett Bank. Sadly, Mike Caggiano, who works at the bank and got the sponsorship, was unable to play. He's still nursing an injury. Hopefully he'll be back this Saturday for the playoffs. But congrats to Stop My Mom Will Shoot and Eastern Bank in the teal jerseys for Everett our first ever champion.
Everett Bank.
I'm sorry.
East Boston's another sponsor.
Yeah, no, I thought I said Everett. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I'm my bad. I'm kind of rushing here, but Everett Bank is the champion. So there are sponsors. Also, Paramount Wealth Strategies, Alpha Omega Hobby in Quincy, Bates Insurance in Medford, the local 103 IBEW, East Boston Savings Bank, One Call Ventilation, Ernie Paredes, and finally Aces Games and More Revere, who were the runners-up last night, if you will. Aces Games and More were wearing the white and blue and red jerseys, and they were the team that lost. So we actually had first and second place last night play. So why don't we just jump right into it, Ron? We'll go right into Tuesday playoffs.
All right. So we start with Tuesday this week, and the first semifinal at 7 o'clock was between Tango and Cash and the Expendables. And for those of us who could not be there, the algorithm left updates on the Facebook page as things were going on. So if you're not a member of the Facebook group, do that. And the algorithm finally figured out how to write something without insulting anybody. After an early goal by Young Payek put the Expendable up 1-0, the rest of the night belonged to the first place Tango and Cash. The underdogs did cut the lead to 4-3 with 7.5 minutes to play, but that's where the rally ended. Sub Nick Bartacci and Mike DeVincent each had 2 goals as Tango and Cash became the first finalists. They beat the Expendables 6-3.
Yeah, this was the 1-7 matchup, and it was 1-1 after 1, then it was 3-1 after 2. It got to be 4-1, and then 2 goals in 22 seconds by the Expendables, cut it to 4-3. And I was like, wow, this is going to be a good finish. And then it was a pair of late goals down the stretch by Tango and Cash to put this one away. And so Tango, the first place team, the first seed, did advance to the finals with that win.
All right. And wow, I just, I put these up and didn't read them, but I can't believe the score of the other semifinal. It's like an NHL game out there. Stopper by Mom Will Shoot beat Cliffhanger 4-1. When's the last time you had 1 goal scored in a full?
It is not that rare in a playoff game with us. It's really not. It's playoffs, like the NHL playoffs, are a little more conservative. Guys aren't hanging quite as much. There's a lot more attention to detail. I think it just comes natural with the territory. And so, yeah, so it was an
I didn't
early
read the rest
goal.
of it yet.
It's what?
I haven't read the rest of it yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. But I just wanted. I saw the score and went, "Oh my goodness!"
Yeah, it was a
Anyway,
low scoring game.
you don't win many playoff games scoring just one goal. You don't tug on Superman's cape, and you don't spit into the wind, and you don't win games in the EMRHL 1-0. The high-powered offense was out of gas for Cliffhanger as they couldn't get anything to click. Stopper My Mom Will Shoot got 2 goals from Dennis Bertocci as he won the game all by himself. And so now, Mr.
Yeah,
Gardner.
we have had a couple of 1-0 playoff games. They are extremely rare. Out of the thousands of games that we've played, there's probably been 10 or less 1-0 games. It's a rarity. Can you win with 1 goal? Yeah, you can, but it doesn't happen. So it was 1-1 after 1. Cliffhanger never really get going. They never really tested the goaltender Jay Sop. I mean, who played fine, but it wasn't like he was seeing breakaway after breakaway and stole anything for him. He just played solid. He made the saves when he needed to make the saves. And then it was a pair of second period goals made it 3-1, and then a late goal in the third made it 4-1, and that was that. And this was a decent game. It really was. They just didn't get any quality chances, and they just didn't score any goals on SOP. So yeah, 1 goal. When you get guys like Bover and Lucas and Higgins and guys like that, they just did not. They're capable of scoring 10, 11 goals easy, and that just didn't happen.
Right. I mean, we went through the stats all season and saw what these teams are capable of doing. This must be some nerves too. I mean, this is a pretty short playoff experience.
Yeah, it's one and done, and it's just so. I mean, 1 game's a big deal. It's like the football playoffs. You don't have a series if you can't have a bad game, you can't have an off night. So, yeah. So that's when you get 1 goal, you're not gonna really win. I mean, even with AK in net, you might win 1-0, but even that's rare. It's such a small court. It's very offensive. It's so hard to contain a team to 1 goal.
Yeah, no, that's the first. Yeah, absolutely. And so in the finals, Stopper My Mom Will Shoot. They're the ones you thought would be more tired going in because they just played, but they rolled right on through. They beat, as Iago Rhythm wrote, Tangy and Cash. Would that be a barbecue joint? That only
what that is, that it's a busted finger or whatever finger thing. I'm still having trouble typing. I can finally bend it, which is good, but yeah, typing is just, it's 1 finger right now. So it's so frustrating when you're used to really typing like this to try to go with 1 hand up in the air, try to type. It's difficult. So yeah, there's been a lot of typos lately.
I'd have some sympathy for you, but
stop it. No, you're not the guy to ask, right?
I kid because I care. The championship game was kind of close as Stopper My Mom Will Shoot won the title as Dave is modeling, or Vanna is modeling the jersey this afternoon. But Stop kept first place Tango at arm's length until the final horn sounded. Courtney Brown had a nice goal for the winners, and so did Old Man Fabiano as they win the 2018-19 Winter League Championship 5-2.
Yeah, this was a decent game. Teams 1 and 2. It's not often that we have teams 1 and 2 in the finals. Usually, one of the top 2 teams gets knocked out in a fluke or a close game or something like that. But we had the top 2 teams. Just taking a look at the box score over here. 1-0 after 1 to Stop and Shop. And I did find that little app. I've used that app before, that scoreboard app. So
that was cool.
Yeah, because I was not able to referee, I was scorekeeping. So I said, I'll just keep everybody abreast. And instead of just typing it out, I found that little app and just put up the little scoreboard graphic. And I don't know, I use that once in a while in the playoffs, and it comes out good, keeping everybody in touch. I mean, I wasn't trying to go goal for goal, but because playoffs are so low scoring, I was able to. I mean, if it was 10-11, I wouldn't want to put up 22 graphics, that's for sure. But every now and then, I put up the time. If there was a penalty, I put the penalty in. That looked kind of cool as well. But yeah, so it was 1-0 after 1. And then, excuse me, a goal by Dennis Bertocci in the second made it 2-1. Mike DeVincent then made it 2-1. So it was 2-1. So it was really close going into the third. 2-1 going into the third. And then it was boom, boom, boom. 3 goals. Somebody flipped it up to Fab, and it took a funny hop and went right to him. He spun around and scored, and that kind of put it away at 4-1. Power play goal made it 5-1. A late goal by Sean Andrews made it 5-2, but by that time it was pretty much done. But a decent game right until the third period. Yeah, and the team that you thought would run out of gas did not run out of gas.
No, and as you said, we talked about this, I think, last week, that sometimes the team that plays later on when you're doing the double-double had the advantage because they were still fresh from the first game. And it doesn't sound like, even though it was a low score, that both games were good, that the second game last night wasn't very stressful. And so they knew that they could probably conserve for a bit going into the final. Or am I wrong on it?
I mean, again, it was 1-0 after one, and then 2-1 after two. So I mean, this game was still anybody's game in a third. Neither team showed signs of fatigue. You know, that's the thing that I noticed. That nobody was running out of gas. Nobody was tired. You know, everyone was pretty fresh. Some guys were taking some extra shifts. You know, the better guys. Blah 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 blah. But I mean, it went pretty. It just was a couple of late goals, put it away, and you know that's how it goes sometimes.
So here's a question that you probably didn't know was coming your way. I mean, since the teams change around for the leagues and stuff like that on Tuesday and Saturday, do you know off the top of your head what players might have won the most titles?
Yeah, I do. I don't have it on the top of my head. Ernie, though, last year, I believe it was, actually did that. Ernie Paredes went through all the teams and listed them all out and laid out, you know, who won how many championships and the whole bit. And so I do have that figure somewhere. I don't have it handy, but if I needed to dig it out, I could. My thing is, though, I don't like to glorify just the guys that win the title.
No.
And I don't like to do that in the NHL, the NFL. I think too much is put on winning it all in today's world.
And this is a for fun league, but still, I would think if someone's been involved in, especially if they've been involved in the league for 20, 25 years, that, it's kind of cool that, you might have been part of 20 championship teams, but you're right. I mean, this is a for fun league, and everything changes a few times a year, and you make a great effort to try to make the teams balanced and stuff. But still, I think it'd be kind of cool to say, I see where you're going with that.
Yeah, I mean, I have it over here somewhere in my stack of papers. So I mean, maybe I'll dig that out, or maybe Ernie will update that this year to reflect, because I know he did it a year ago, and I'd have to go back and add to that myself. But it was done, and again, the guys that have been around the longest, obviously, just from quantity, not quality, are at the top. I mean, I know because I'm not at the top, but I'm near the top just because I've been playing in the league since 1999. And I don't know how many I have. I lost count, but some guys keep track of it. I know there's some people that have 20. I think Dennis McGonigal was on the Tango and Cash team, and I know he's up near the top because he's been playing with us since I think 2000 or 2001. So, I mean, he's been around a long time. So he's got a lot of longevity, and he's got a lot of championships. So, I mean, some guys really, they key on that. And if they do that, that's good. But I try not to glorify that.
Just don't take the trophy and go swing baseballs with it like Gronkowski did with the Lombardi this year. Did you see that?
No.
When they went to opening day at Fenway, and they brought out all the Patriots, one of their Lombardi trophies, Gronkowski decided to swing it at a baseball and dented it.
Oh, no, I did not see that. Well, but I know that our trophy, I actually dropped it. It fell out of the truck the last championship, and I did dent the top of it. So it's got a little scuff mark. It makes it look mean.
It's a mark of love. What are you talking about? It is.
I couldn't believe it fell out of my truck. I opened the back, and it just went clunk, and I see a big chip of it on the ground. I was like, oh. But I guess that's a love mark.
That's right. A love tap. So as before we get into the previewing the Saturday League's playoffs, so Tuesday League starts next week. So when will the draft and all that? What's the process now?
We were talking about that. Some of the guys, well, I think 2 or 3 of the captains wanted to do Friday night. There's no way I could pull it off. We got 2 captains that are not returning, so now I got to find captains. I have a couple of players that dropped. I wasn't counting on dropping. The players that were supposed to come right in now have some issues. So it's going to just take some time for me to get the list together. Plus the fact that I still can't type very fast. So everything's going to take time. So it's
Did
looking,
you show your finger? I didn't see it because I was.
I
How do you-
don't want to put it on camera.
Okay.
It's still a little red, but it's a hell of a lot better. Hell of a lot better. Let me put it that way. I'm kind of hoping I could referee on Saturday. That's the goal, is the referee on Saturday. Then the following Saturday, to hope to play in the playoffs for somebody.
All right.
So that's
So-
good. So I am making progress with that. I was really, really nervous I was going to end up in the hospital because they don't mess around with infections on fingers and toes, you know. But that's another story.
That's
But
another story.
so yeah, so we're probably gonna do it on Sunday. I know not everybody's gonna make it. I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but one way or another by Sunday night, the teams need to be picked and done so I can let everybody know and get a schedule up on Monday so we can start playing on Tuesday. So that the plan is usually we always pick the teams on that Sunday usually. So that's the game plan with that. Going forward. So yeah, so a couple of people have emailed me and Facebooked me about getting in. I'm going over the list now. It's just, again, guys are coming and going. Some guys I thought were in now aren't in. That's just par for the course at the end of the season. It just gets crazy, and I got to sort it all out. So it does take a few days for it to sort out. In fact, even on Sunday morning, I'll have changes. That's why I like to wait until Sunday, because there's no sense picking the teams on Friday and then finding out that 3 or 4 guys are not playing, or 3 or 4 guys were supposed to play. Now what do you do? So the longer I wait, the more it calms down, and I have an accurate list, and now we know who's definitely in.
Now, we talked about last week about the fact that the Tuesday league is usually pretty full, and that's still the case?
We have only a couple of 3 or 4 players dropping out, and there's probably like 9 or 10 guys looking to get in. So there is a waiting list, plus all the new guys that I have to just turn away automatically, you know. But we have some returning players coming back. We have some guys that were out on injury that want to come back. Some guys that used to play with us that want to come back. So it's kind of just going through the list and maybe just taking them in order or whatever to try to get people back in.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, it will be full again. We will have a waiting list again. But if you want to play, let me know. And you know, who knows what's going to happen between now and Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning, whenever we pick the teams, because things just keep changing. You know, sometimes people lose a playoff game, they don't want to play next season. Sometimes people win a playoff game and sign up even though they said they weren't gonna. So I mean, all that comes into play.
We are boys after all.
We are.
And we do have egos.
And
now,
some guys that said they weren't playing might decide they are playing by Sunday too. I mean,
because
I've seen it all happen in 20 years. And that's why I like to wait as long as I can before picking teams, because things constantly change. It's just human nature.
Now, if you're thinking about maybe wanting to become a captain, not saying that could be the case for this year, what do you look for in a prospective captain?
You need someone that's level-headed, obviously. Someone that's not going to lose their mind on the rink. Not that we don't have captains that do that now. But, you know, you just try to find someone that's somewhat responsible, someone that'll, you know, make sure that the guys change up and everyone tries to get fair ice time, and that it's not always the better players skating and the lesser guys sit for most of the game, because everybody pays the same amount to play. And then you need someone that can, you know, make sure we grab all the new sponsored jerseys here at the end. Make sure that, you know, nobody takes a jersey home, because, you know, we need to account for all these every night, every Saturday, every Tuesday. And so just someone that has some responsibility. Usually people approach me and we'll talk, and I'll say, here's what I expect, and can you do this? And some people don't want to be bothered. They just want to play, and that's perfectly fine. And other people are like, yeah, no, I'll give it a try. And we have guys come in for a season or two and then take off a season or two. You know, we do whatever we got to do.
So for either to get in touch with you about that, or maybe getting a spot in the Saturday league or whatever, what's the easiest way for those who might be interested on the outside to get a hold of you?
Yeah, well, like I say, you can go to our Facebook page, EMRHL, on the Facebook page, or EMRHL.com, our webpage, and there's contact information there for me. There's my email address, daveicehog@gmail.com. You can send me a text. Again, I'll respond to that. If you call me on the cell phone, I'm probably not going to pick up, because, you know, there's so much garbage right now on my cell phone. I usually just leave a message. If you call the cell phone, leave a message, because if I don't recognize the number, I don't pick it up, because I don't need any more congratulations. You know, that's all I get on numbers I don't recognize. So
Yes.
So yeah, so go to the webpage, emrhl.com. Facebook is emrhl. Leave messages there. If you're friends with me on Facebook, shoot me a message on Facebook. If you have my text, shoot me a text. I'm not a hard guy to get a hold of. You know, the only way you can't get a hold of me anymore is at China Jade. I'm just not at China Jade anymore. So guys used to meet me down there and give me messages. I'm not at China Jade anymore. So that's one place that we can't meet.
No more buffet for you?
No more buffet for me. And I think the last time I went down to the guys from the league, they left me there. It was 0 degrees. We had the draft, and I was feeling pretty good, so I didn't drive, and I was supposed to have somebody drive me home, and they left. And there I was, 0 degrees, walking home from China Jade in the middle of winter with all my draft stuff, over my shoulder, walking home. Imagine that. Who would leave me? Who would leave me at China Jade? I mean, back in the day, it wasn't leaving me at China Jade. It was actually doing me a favor back in the day. But we were done, trying to go home. So
as the old saying goes, Dave, nothing you can say can tear me away from my tie. All right, we're not going to go through these games except for giving the scores for the Saturday games. Then we'll talk about the playoffs. Fast Times beat Face-Off 9-7. Raising Arizona and The Rock knotted at 6. Rumblefish closes the regular season with a 10-3 win over Ghost Rider. Leaving Las Vegas beat Snake Eyes 5-1. Arsenal 14-9 over National Treasure. And in the Mr. Irrelevant game, Kick-Ass 9, Gone in 60 Seconds 5.
Yep. So that wrapped up the regular season. And what I want to do real quick is just the top 4 teams get a bye because we got 12 teams. So the top 4 teams are out. The bottom 8 will play. We'll eliminate 4. That'll give us a final 8 for next week. And then we'll have the final 4 the week after. That's kind of how we do it on Saturday with the 12 teams. So here are the matchups for the Saturday playoffs, which would be May 4th. Now we start at 7:30 rather than 7 because there's no sense needing to get there real early for just 4 games. We may or may not have a scrimmage. It all depends on how I'm healing up with my hand, if I can really hang around. Sometimes I just want to get out of there with this thing.
Wiggling your fingers, it looks a lot better than it did a couple days ago.
Oh, it does. It does. I mean, it's still a little red, but anyway. So playoffs round 1 at 7:30, it's Face-Off and National Treasure. Then at 8:30, it's Leaving Las Vegas against Gone in 60 Seconds. At 9:30, it's Fast Times at Ridgemont High taking on Snake Eyes. And then at 10:30, we got Ghost Rider taking on Kick-Ass. So kind of how that works with those matchups, the top 4 are out for the first round. They get the bye. So you got 5, 12, 6, 11, 7, 10, 8, 9.
Yeah.
How it works out. So it's a nice round number. So that's how the playoffs will work out for this Saturday. So then we take our winners, we'll reseed everything, and then we'll have the matchups for the following week.
So it's a 3-week process.
Yep.
So that's cool. All right. So that will be there, and then so first weekend of June, last weekend of Memorial Day weekend. When is the new Saturday season going to start?
Yeah, let me see. So we got 3 weeks of playoffs. We do have Memorial in there as well. Sometimes we'll take a week off and scrimmage and test out some new guys. I don't mean test out, but I mean just get some new guys up skating with us and looking at them. So, it all depends how quickly it comes together. Saturday, we have a little bit more leeway. Tuesday, we have to keep going because we can't really scrimmage on a Tuesday night. It would never happen. So Tuesday, we roll right over. Saturday, we have a little bit of leeway. There's usually more turnover. So sometimes you want to see players play a couple of times before we draft on Saturday. So it's a little bit different of an animal. So that'll be determined. I like to start it up as quick as possible, but sometimes we do need that extra week as guys are coming and going a little bit more, especially with 12 teams.
Right. But you do expect to have 12 teams for the...
I don't know. We usually have a pretty fair drop-off in the summer, but I also have had a lot of guys asking to play. Some guys coming over from Tuesdays, some guys coming back, some brand new guys, some guys I have, friends and relatives are looking to play. So it's hard to say. I hope to still have at least 10, but it'd be nice if we did have 11 or 12 going through the summer as well.
That's nice. All right. So I guess I'll leave it with this. What did you notice from Stopper My Mom Will Shoot that maybe you can pass on to other teams? I mean, they won the championship. They won, obviously the 2 games last night, but they were pretty steady throughout the year.
They were pretty steady. They just had a decent balance. I mean, no one tried to do more than they should. Even Courtney Brown. I mean, he didn't do any more than he should. He didn't make any more mistakes than he normally does. He played a solid game. He even scored a crazy goal. And they just were a solid team. They played well. I don't think they got hung out to dry. They didn't have guys that were hanging, and they didn't have defense that were pinching, so they didn't leave the goalie Jay Sop out to dry at all. They played a pretty solid game in front of them. They had guys that stayed back, and forwards came back and helped out. I just think they played solid two-way hockey. That's just what I think the difference was. And some of the other teams maybe were a little bit more aggressive on offense, and that left them vulnerable on defense.
All right. And I know you're obviously, despite my protest, you're not going to go with Montreal Canadiens heroes for your Tuesday night teams for the summer, just because, make me happy. Have you thought about what the summer names are going to be yet?
No, not yet. I just need to get through the playoffs, get the draft list together, and sometimes we'll talk about it beforehand, and sometimes we just wing it at the draft. It's willy-nilly. We just kind of go happy-go-lucky with that.
And so there's still time. If you want to see heroes of the Montreal Canadiens for the Summer League, put your name in the comment below and say, go with Ron or something like that.
I'm just wondering what team's going to be the Hal Gills.
The Hal Gills, the blockers. He was the one that blocked shots all the time. And that unexpected playoff run in 2010 where we lost in the conference finals to the Rangers. I mean, he sat there. I mean, it's 37-year-old man's body blocking everything. It's like, he took a shot, I think, in pretty much everything except for where you don't want to take a shot.
The craziest shot blocker I've ever seen in my life was Jim Schoenfeld. And we're going back a little way.
Another donut, you fat pig.
Yep. Schoenfeld started with the Sabres. He ended up with the Bruins later in his career. He played without a helmet. And I just remember him dropping to his knees in front of the net, blocking shots from the point. And I get the shots in the 80s weren't quite as difficult as the shots today because of the technology and the sticks, but this guy had no equipment on at all, and he was dropping in front of shots just like this, face exposed, no helmet, no nothing, on his knees trying to block shots. And I just remember this guy in Boston. I'm just shaking my head going, man, this guy's going to die. This guy, if anybody ever gets a shot up over waist high, it's going to hit him in the face or in the head. And he gutted it out, and he did it. He knew what he was doing, I guess. But Jim Schoenfeld always sticks out to me as the I don't want to say the best shot blocker, but the craziest shot blocker I've ever seen.
He'd have to be to do that. And by the late 80s, you still had Al McInnes and Eli Afraidy, and they were hitting over 100 with.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so that'll do it for this week on the E for this first day of May. Remember, for Saturday, if you still owe, you really need to get those payments in. And so next Wednesday, when we're with you, we'll talk about whatever Dave decided to name the Tuesday teams, which are probably greatest foes of the Montreal Canadiens. So just to help to make me, feel real good. So the first week of action for the next Tuesday, we'll go through the first round of the playoffs in the Saturday League. So for Dave Gardner, the chief cook and bottle washer, the laundry king of Saugus, Massachusetts, I am Ron Juckett. We'll talk to you next Wednesday afternoon.
Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks to everybody in the chat that was tuning in live today. We really didn't get to say hi to them, but there was some people live in the chat, and just want to say thanks for tuning in here on our league show is basically what it is. So, and good friends of the community here. So, all right, everybody, have a good one. Draft Saturday, new season on Tuesday, Saturday opening playoffs, busy week here in the E.